Thank you very much. I bet you can hear me now. Thank you to everybody on Facebook for letting me know. We are going to take a look at the storm system and take a look at where the watches, warnings are in effect. We'll give some timing as well on when the heaviest snowfall will move through the area. Take a look at road conditions at the time of our recording, and also take a look what else we have ahead for this week, because this is a very active week that's moving our way, a very wintry weather week. In fact, we've had a very quiet winter season thus far, but this week certainly will let us know that winter is back. So let's take a look right now at what we have as far as the winter storm warning. And this was upgraded earlier this morning. Last night, we had winter storm watches that were posted. Of course, those were upgraded to winter storm warnings. This covers all of eastern Iowa, and it continues to cover all of eastern Iowa with dangerous winter conditions. And you see that extends from now all the way through Tuesday evening. That includes Dubuque, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City. Why is a winter storm warning put in effect? Well, one of the criteria is snow greater than 6 inches in some spots, or 6 inches or more. Second thing is just the impacts that this storm system will have. It's going to be a very wet snow. By that, it's going to be a very packing snow. We'll talk a little more about that coming up, but the wet snow will be very hard to move. You do need to take some extra time when you finally do start to move the snow, because it's one that'll kind of plug the snowblower up as well and be very hard for you to lift and move if you do a lot of it at once. As far as heavy snow, we're talking about snowfall rates that could be in excess of 1 inch or 2 inches per hour. And when we get that to happen, many times we could hear a rumble of thunder or see a flash of lightning with some thunder snow, but that's when the heaviest snowfall amounts really pile up as that storm system continues to move through. And then the third factor, we have winds that are going to be gusting at or greater than 40 miles per hour starting late tomorrow morning, and that continues into tomorrow afternoon as well. So that's the reason that we do have that winter storm warning in effect across all of eastern Iowa. Now, satellite and radar, again, showing that storm moving in. There's plenty of moisture associated with this storm. You see some has been moving across portions of eastern Iowa, as we've noticed in many communities already, more well down to the south. In fact, if we kind of take this picture and widen it out for you a little bit, you'll be able to see that even farther down to the south, all the way to the Gulf Coast, this storm is a large storm system that's moving through, so affecting a large part of the United States. Earlier, some severe weather across portions of Texas and Louisiana. Closer look here in eastern Iowa certainly shows that snow starting to move in. It's moving generally to the north. That area of low pressure is off to our south and west, and as that low moves in, it will first of all push that snow through the area, and it'll move in from the north. As that snow has been moving in, especially across western areas of Iowa, you can see that we do have road conditions that have been deteriorating. In fact, right now from Des Moines and points to the south down toward Lamoni and Shenandoah, there you go, completely covered road conditions, partially covered back off toward the north and west. We will see road conditions deteriorate across eastern Iowa as well. Right now, Keokuk County, one of the spots that's seeing some partially covered roadways, but we will be becoming partly and completely covered as we head through our nighttime hours as that snow continues to move through the area. Now, Pinpoint Futurecast. Just going to show you some snow for a long period of time. It's moving through, kind of concentrating on some of the darker bands of snow that we're seeing as well. Those would be the heavier snowfall that moves in. So as we head through the later part of our evening, early nighttime hours, we do find some of that farther down to the south as that snow crosses Highway 20 and moves farther to the north. Notice one band of heavier snow developing around 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning or so back off near Tama down toward Oskaloosa and Washington. That will then push across eastern Iowa as well with some heavy accumulations, and that's when we can see some of that thunder snow possible. Still some heavy snows across the area as we move through 6 a.m. So this certainly affects the morning commute in a very, very big way. By noon, there still is moderate to light snow falling across the area as the winds start to pick up. You notice that stronger northerly wind showing up. Again, sustained 20 to 30, gusts up to 40 or 45. There you go. By 6 p.m. tomorrow night, the storm starts to wind down, and the snowfall, as far as falling snow, is done by the time we head toward 9 o'clock, but the winds still remain strong as we head into the evening hours. There's the overall snowfall forecast, 5 to 10 inches of a heavy, wet snow. Windy conditions on Tuesday. Travel will be very, very difficult as that snow moves through, and whether you get 5 inches, 8 inches, 10, or if you happen to get 12 inches of snow, really not going to matter. This is going to be one that will cause some problems and certainly some delays and many cancellations, as we're already seeing from many communities and schools across eastern Iowa as this storm moves in. As far as travel impacts, when we're talking about the roads, overnight the snow continues and roads will become snow covered. Just had a report that some of the snow is now also starting to stick a little bit in Cedar Rapids. So it'll stick again on the grassy areas, the road areas, and then continue to pile up, and we continue to watch it move through. As you do travel, if you must travel, and again, we do not advise that, but if you do, some people have to for their job, make sure that in your vehicle you certainly have that full gas tank. You want jumper cables or a jump pack along with you, phone charger, first aid kit, blanket, flashlight, extra batteries, water, non-perishable snacks, just in case you get stuck for a period of time out on the roadway. Shovel, ice scraper can help as well as emergency flares or lights. Salt, sand, cat litter also can get you out of situations that you might be just slipping a little bit, give you a little traction on the road. So that, again, keep that in mind. You should have it in your car anyway across Iowa, and that would be good to keep with you throughout the winter season. The wind gusts we talked about, there's our latest wind gust forecast. Close to 40 already by 9 o'clock in the morning, and staying close to, if not topping 40, as we work our way all the way through the afternoon and evening hours directly from the north. And that's when we could see some of the blowing and drifting snow. We did hear from the Iowa DOT earlier that said even in the heavy snow with winds that strong, that snow is going to blow across areas of the roadways. And we'll also watch some drier snow move in on the backside of the system, and as that happens with colder air in place, that snow will be much easier to blow than the heavier wet snow. So that kind of talks about snow consistency. Sometimes we get a very powdery and light snow in the area, but this one is going to be heavy and wet. It's a snowman snow, we call it, because it's going to be a packing snow. Again, one that's very, very hard to move, but also one that will stick to the roadways very, very quickly, plug up the snowplow, snow blower. So keep that in mind. Heavy snow for shoveling as well. Want to be very, very careful as you do move that as far as physical exertion is concerned. So we kind of wrap up once again by taking a look at our Pinpoint Futurecast with some timing for you. Again, it's here now and pushing across portions of eastern Iowa, moves across all of eastern Iowa tonight. A couple of bands of some heavier snow as we move through the late overnight hours into the early morning hours. That's your morning commute at 6 a.m. The snow all along Interstate 80. So if you were thinking of traveling west on 80, you're going to be dealing with snow the entire time. That snow continues to be with us as we head toward the noon hour. And then you see on the backside of that system finally starting to move out a bit. And that's by 6 p.m. We see those snow showers diminishing and then moving out by 9 o'clock. Leaving behind, again, about 5 to 10 inches of snow before it's all said and done. Could be some isolated pockets that are a bit heavier than that, but as we said, it's not going to matter because all that snow is super heavy and hard to move. We also have the travel impacts once again for you. Basically, snow-covered roadways beginning. Already have a report that really snowing in Marion. Thanks for the report, V. That'll cover the roads very quickly, and that's what we expected to happen. It's overnight that the heaviest snow falls into the morning hours. Corey will certainly be with you with some updates on that with difficult travel conditions. And Tuesday afternoon, the snow still continues as we showed you as those winds increase and blow that snow around. More wintry weather is still ahead of us as we head through this week. We've got a weak system moving in Wednesday and Thursday. That could bring a little bit of light snow to the area. Then we've got a system we need to watch that once again will develop across areas of the plains, move off toward the east and north, and track of that system could again bring accumulating snows for Friday into early Saturday. So certainly some very, very wintry conditions, and beside that, we also have some very strong winds. Yes, they're strong on Tuesday, but also Friday we have some strong northerly winds and a strong northwest wind even following it up on Saturday. That's going to bring down some very cold Arctic air, the coldest we have seen thus far through our season. You notice the cold air moving our way as we head through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's going to sit on top of us. In fact, we'll take a quick look at what the temperatures are like on our 9-day forecast after those snow chances end, and highs, which were in the 30s today, will fall down to the teens or lower by Saturday, and the single digits or possibly near or below zero in some spots, especially overnight, depending on that snowpack. So keep that in mind. Quite a wintry pattern heading our way again as we work our way through the next week, the next 9 days. Again, satellite and radar shows that storm system moving across the upper Midwest. Just going to put up the current radar picture as of the time of this recording. Take a look at some of the questions that you might have. Somebody asking where the snow, you can see it right there on radar. It's moving across portions of Iowa right now. Are there concerns with power outages? Brooke asks. Well, with a storm like this, certainly have to watch because it will be wet and heavy, and some of that wet snow can stick on the power lines as well. Combine that with the winds that'll be very, very strong, and that again could bring the possibility of some power outages. It is not out of the question that that could happen as that storm system moves through. Additional questions right now. Let's take a look. won't we be on the back side of the system for about half of it? Marcus asked. As the system moves through, and we'll take a look, the area of low pressure will move across areas of Illinois. So yes, we move in as the winds will shift direction as well. Right now, as you see, those winds are around from the east. As we move forward in time, you'll notice that the winds start to shift. So there, that low is starting to move down across areas of Missouri, and then it heads into portions of Illinois. As we get on the backside of that system, after that heavy snow band moves in, that's when we see some of those northerly winds moving in for our Tuesday snow, and that's when we get some of that lighter amounts of snow as far as the snowfall ratio or the powdery type snow at the end, which will allow some of that to blow around and reduce visibility as well. Marcus, thanks for the question. So colder air is coming in, and that will develop the snowfall totals. Why the snowfall totals that we have? Well, we're also talking about compaction of the snow. As that snow falls, the water in that snow will compact on the ground, and that's why overall, again, it looks like that's what we're looking for some snowfall totals. About 5 to 10 inches, a good average across all of eastern Iowa. Reminder once again that we do have that winter storm warning that does continue across all of the TV9 viewing area. That will be in effect as we work our way through the evening hours and the morning hours and evening hours of our Tuesday. So again, it's a prolonged weather event, one that we haven't seen. Sometimes our snowstorms are a little more progressive, and that's why over the course of 2 days we'll get some of those higher snowfall totals and higher snowfall total rates. Another look at road conditions as it stands right now. We continue to see deteriorating roads off to the west, and the picture you're seeing right now in western areas of Iowa, that will be moving our way as we work our way through the next few hours. In fact, load that picture up again of road conditions. You can see that we're already now seeing some partly covered roadways reported across portions of Johnson County. Meteorologist Hannah Messier was out on our mobile weather lab earlier and did report some of that snow falling near Sigourney as well as Washington. Now again, we're seeing areas near the Iowa City area, Johnson County, as well as down toward Washington, seeing some of the partly covered roadways, and that's what we're in for, partly to mostly covered roadways as we head through the nighttime hours. Quick again glance at Pinpoint Futurecast to show us the snow that continues to push across the area, and again, timing for you just keeps that snow with us. The area of dry air down across areas of Missouri to Illinois doesn't look like it'll affect us here in eastern Iowa. As a result, we continue to see snow falling in the area for a period of time, heavier at times, especially overnight into the early morning hours. Then as we work our way into the noon hour of Tuesday, we are going to find that snow starting to wrap up in the far western part of the state. And finally, by the evening hours, some of that snow moves out of eastern Iowa as well and continues to push farther off toward the east. Again, if you must travel, take your time. If you don't have to travel, the best advice is just to stay home and not worry about travel at all as this storm continues to evolve and push across areas of eastern Iowa. First big snow that we've had for a while across the eastern part of the state. So that kind of wraps up what we have as far as the update right now. We'll certainly have more on 10 o'clock, give you an update on what we're seeing across eastern Iowa. And Corey will join you tomorrow morning, of course, with the updates on the snowfall and the snowfall rates. Jan will be in the mobile weather lab giving you reports on what the road conditions are like. So you, again, can kind of plan your day around that. But as we said, not a lot of travel should be anticipated as that storm moves through. Travel will become very, very difficult very rapidly as we head through our overnight hours. I'm meteorologist Joe Winters here in the TV9 newsroom. Thanks for joining us for this weather update.